Hello and welcome back to another free-to-play episode. I think we're on episode 11 now. It's going so quick and you guys can't seem to get enough of it. So, in today's episode, we're going to be going over the last week. Some of it would have been before the streams and some of it afterwards. It's just a collection of different footages. Right, so today's theme is actually going to be about territory battles. At the time of recording, I am 1000 XP away from level 65. So I'm going to be participating in the upcoming territory battles, the end phases. So what I've been doing this week is I've been trying to plan some teams. I want at least 2 teams which will be able to get waves done, because in the end we need to be paying back the guild for allowing me to have my account there. And this is honestly something that a lot of you who watch this account and follow this series should be doing. If you're in a higher GP guild, which some of you may be in, because it is possible that at the moment there is a bit of a crisis within guilds and they're looking for anyone to be able to get tickets. Okay, so the chances are you can find a decent guild, and if you have, the least you can do as a good guild member is try and repay them back, if this is through territory war or territory battles. So for this reason, I have spent this week working on my light side teams. I've now got 2 full teams, which is absolutely crazy at level 65. And those teams are the following, and you're going to see them in the background as we go along. So I've got Phoenix, which are all now gear 6, with the exception of Kanan, who is now gear 7. You saw it on the screen right there. We have also got a Smuggler Team. Kira lead, young Lando, young Han, L3, and Vandal Chewie. Now, the only thing is they're not high stars, apart from Phoenix, who are almost all 7 stars, with the exception of Zeb. They are all low stars, especially the Smuggler Team. Young Han 7 stars, the others are a mixture of 3 to 5 stars. So they're not going to be doing anything in the later phases, and that's fine. But the main thing is we actually have the team made. And I know I've been testing it out, and you're going to see some footage in the background. That Smuggler Team does some work. I'm going to be gearing it up a little bit more, but it does do some work for me. In terms of gear levels, because that's obviously something you're always asking me about, Phoenix are staying at gear 7. I am not taking them any higher. We will get through and done with that because we'll use good mods. Okay, now with the Smuggler Team, Kira, Young Han, and Vandal will be working towards gear 12. It's just a matter of how long and not if. Now, young Lando is actually only going to go to gear 8. Once he's gear 8, I'm not going to touch him again. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm actually farming a lot of gear and trying to push him to that gear 8 just so he's done. And then we don't have to worry about him other than levels and abilities. Okay, now L3 we're going to be taking to around about gear 7. She is only 3 stars, that's perfectly fine. What we've got to remember, guys, is Dash isn't farmable until the mid-70s. I think it's level 77. If that's wrong, please correct me in the comments, because we always want the information produced in this video or this series to benefit all of you and answer any questions you may have. So, with that said, we want to take L3 to a decent gear level. We're probably not going to start her up yet. She's a Cantina farm. I could start farming her, but I'm going to go over that as well during this video as to why we're not going to just yet. So the thing is with L3 is we need them to be above 6,000 GP. This is for territorial purposes. And we do want decent-ish gear on them, just so when we do get around to territory battles, we can hopefully 4 out of 4 with our Smuggler Team. And then we have 2 teams that are going to 4 out of 4. As you see on the screen right here, we have just unlocked young Lando. Now some of you may already know this from the streams, but if you didn't, here he is. Awesome, I love it. And he is so vital to the early Smuggler Team, and the reason being, before you get Dash and before you have access to basically infinite prepared, the easiest way to spread prepared is 2 ways. You either use Young Han's special, which as long as he's prepared, he then gives prepared to whoever is not prepared at that point. In other words, say Young Han's prepared and you use his special and you target Young Lando would then become prepared and Han would lose it. Now probably the easiest way to spread it early game is Young Lando, because every time he takes a turn he has around about a 30 to 40% chance to actually gain prepared, and then his special passes that prepared onto another character. So it's an easy way to cycle the prepared between your teams, which is why young Lando is actually quite a good investment. The only thing is, if you're an endgame player, there's some crazy things you can do with a high relic young Lando. Zareth had a video on it recently and he was hitting for 300,000 damage. But for you guys who are watching, and I'm presuming you lot are free-to-play players, young Lando is perfectly fine at gear 8. He doesn't need to go any higher, even to be beating those top teams. And right now we actually have gameplay of the entire Smuggler Team. I think this is in Galactic War, and it's really decent. It's a really nice team. I'm enjoying it. In this footage here, L3 is just too low a gear. They do die early on, but the team is beginning to come around. And let me tell you this, guys, and this is something for you all to look forward to. We are planning on soloing the tank raid. Okay. Now this is quite a while off because we need certain characters 7 stars, and we have a little bit of work to do. But I'm eventually going to show you guys how good this prepared team can be, and we will try and solo the tank raid. And that is another reason why this plan may be beneficial to you, because it really depends. If you're in a guild that is simming this, it's kind of irrelevant. But for some of you, you may end up being one of the bigger accounts in the guild, and that is perfectly fine. We've spoken about this multiple times throughout many streams, and especially the recent roster review streams. Being in a guild is very unique to the individual. What I mean by this is, some of you may be what they call the big fish in the sea, or whatever you want to call it, and then some of you may be the little fish. And what I mean by this is, for some of you may actually be the biggest account in the guild, and if this happens, they're going to be relying on you to put out the output in raids. Notice how Lando passed the prepared there? That is kind of what we're talking about. Young Lando is very useful. Now, if you're in a guild that is simming raids and doing all those fun things, then yeah, absolutely, you don't need to worry about soloing just the raids. I was going to say Sith raid there, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the AAT raid. However, if you're in a smaller guild, or if you're just playing with friends and you're still following this plan, which does work, you don't need to be in a fantastic guild to follow this plan, then yeah, you will actually benefit from this team and farming up the team to be able to solo the raid. Okay, we're moving on to the final stage of this video, and we're going to be showing a little bit more about young Han. Guys, we go on about him all the time. He is, by now, the channel icon. And this here is I put a sneak peek in the Discord, so if you aren't in the Discord, go ahead and join. There's a big community growing there now, and firstly, if you want to find a guild, because we've just spoken about guilds, if you want to find a guild, you can find one in the Discord. You can also just ask questions and talk and have fun, and that's kind of what this is all about. Now, this is the defense mod tier 3 battle, which is reasonably hard. I mean, they're level 75, gear 7, gear 8 characters. It is pretty hard, but we're actually going to see the power of young Han. And just imagine with me, right, that the rest of the team is the prepared squad. The way young Han's special is working is he's gaining bonus damage for every prepared ally. Now, okay, in territory battles and multiple wave things like this, you can actually spread the prepared around, and because these characters, for example the Phoenix characters, don't benefit from prepared, they're not going to be dispelling it, okay? So young Han's going to be doing crazy damage, and some of you may have seen this in the Discord, so you're going to know what's coming, and this is only a gear 7 young Han. And hopefully this also shows you why I'm pretty confident we're going to be 4 out of 4ing. Sorry, my apologies, it's actually 6 waves in Hoth. Always confuses me. We may be 6 out of 6ing in the Hoth territory battles, especially in the first 2 phases. Probably not towards the end, but we'll see there. And here we go, guys. We're in the final wave. We're against Grievous. Young Han is hitting for a crazy amount of damage, and he's doing so much work for us here. And yeah, it's so nice to be able to 3-star these. I've now 3-starred the health mod one, and I've 3-starred the defense one. We do want to move on to crit damage, but the way I'm kind of doing is I'm spending a little bit of time after 3-starring one and just farming a few mods. We did health mods for about 2 weeks. We're going to defense mods for about a week, and then we'll move on to the next one, just so we have a small sample of mods to be using. and you can see the damage is really beginning to ramp up. And yet, there's a bit of RNG here that Hera didn't get targeted. I think it took me 2 tries in the end to get the 3-star here. Chopper is really nice because he can stun. It's really helpful there. But yeah, we can see as it continues, we're starting to do some very good damage. In fact, Han did 9,000 damage on a basic there. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of the video. I'm going to leave the rest for you guys to watch. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this damage? My name is Glurmit. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys